Jeffrey Blake for FlopTurnRiver.com. I'm doing another 1-2 video here. I just actually sat down at the table, so I don't really have much information other than my poker tracker stats on all of these people. I'm definitely not going to be calling out of position Queen 6. Even if I had gotten to see for free, I'd just check fold on this kind of a flop. There's no real way I can make any amount of money. No hands calling me down that doesn't have me beat very often. Right now I'm actually just playing this one table, so I don't have anything that I'll even be dragging over to set things up. What you see here is what you get. So I don't know, if things go too slowly, then I'll definitely pull some other information in it. Ace 3, unknown opponents. There's no reward there. Okay. And again, flop comes, be horrible. Now, I will say, if I had had ace 3 suited, I probably would have gone ahead and completed there. The suitedness, while it doesn't actually increase the overall value of your hand that much, it increases the range of hands that you can hit and accurately do something. So when it's going to be cheap to play, I will actually include that as a reason to do things. I'll also use that as a reason to re-raise, and if I get into that discussion a bit, then I'll talk about those concepts, but it may or may not come up. 6-9 offsuit on the button. I'm just gonna fold here. Even if it's folded to me, I would have folded. You know, I don't know the table well enough. I've got a lot of hands on these guys, but most of that is just from data mining. I haven't actually played with. I've played with Finn Mackel a bit. Actually, he's a fairly good tight aggressive opponent. So I'm just gonna play it straightforward for now. We'll see what his mood is like today. Jack 5 again. No reason to play it. I haven't talked about it before, so I'll go ahead and throw it in now. What the different statistics I have up here are. I think kind of these four. Getting into another table here. Maybe I'll have some more hands to pull over. Pocket 4s, I will play this. Yeah, go ahead and raise it up. Okay, we're against one opponent that's playing like every hand. We're gonna go ahead and see about that for sure. And he goes away. That's a good result. Not quite as good as us hitting our set and stacking him, but you know. Something I'll stress over and over: suited connectors out of position. The standard play is always going to be to fold them, and the reason for that is just that they lose so much value when you can't control the size of the pot. You want to be able to be in control, and playing them out of position, you know, you may get re-raised by someone with a big hand or that likes to re-raise a lot. That puts you in a difficult spot. And then after the flop, you don't have control, and it's just not a good spot to be in. So unless I'm trying to mix things up, I don't try to play them from that type of situation. Yeah, that's really, they both probably play that. Well, let's see, flush draw, he can't really think anything but the flush draw, and the straight draw is good. With the flush draw and the straight draw together there, the gut shot, he's got to think that he's, what, 30-40%? It wasn't really that bad stacking off there. It was a bit of an overbet, and he's only getting called by 2 pair plus hands. So any hand that calls him, I think, is going to have a redraw to the full house. But I don't think it was horrible. He had a pretty big draw there. I started to talk about it before. King 5, I'm going to fold. Actually, I'll pull this hand up here. I've got ace queen in the small blind. I am going to raise it up. I got onto another table. I don't know if I announced that or not. So we'll raise it up, see what happens. Looks like we're playing against another really loose opponent. He calls us in, we hit top pair. That's a great flop for us. We're going to go ahead and c-bet. And I don't know anything about how this guy plays, but I can't imagine that I'm letting go here ever. Just because he's playing so many hands right now. Pull that back down. Ace rag, it's normally pretty playable, but just because we've got such a loose player here, I'm going to let it go even though I'm on the button. I probably would have had to continue on the flop there, and that wouldn't have been a good spot. Given the Fimical called as well, it would have put me in a very, very ugly spot actually. Jack 7's an easy fold. So what I started talking about with the statistics I'm showing, these four are the standard ones. We've got a percentage of hands played, we have percentage of hands raised, then we've got overall aggression factor, and then finally the last thing in this little block is the number of hands that's over. So above it I have the percentage of flops seen. That's actually been a fairly useful statistic for me, I think. And over in this column I have street by street aggression. So the top statistic is how aggressive they are on the flop. We have on the turn, on the river, and the bottom stat is how the percentage of times that they're calling a pre-flop raise. I think I said that this was percentage of times they're calling and seeing a flop. What I meant was percentage of times they're calling after the flop, like a continuation bet type of situation. So for me, that number is pretty low. Actually, both numbers, the continuation bet calling and the calling of pre-flop raise, pretty low. Of course, I'm going to raise it up with the ace-queen suited, even though I'm out of position, because it's a strong hand. And I'll actually be in position against our loose player, so that is something that's in our favor at least. Now actually with both of them in here, I'm going to do what I think of as a delayed continuation bet. Just check here and bet the turn. If they check to me twice, that's a good thing, because it's hard for them to actually have a hand now. Alrighty, so he check called. I'm actually putting him on kind of a mid pair or a flush draw. And he's thinking that I totally missed. Given that he's right, I don't know that I'm going to be able to sell anything else. So I'm probably going to I'm just going to let it go here. go ahead and get my chips back. And the 10-5 we're going to just let go of. Especially to a raise and a re-raise.